If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. The famous words of Benjamin Franklin you've likely heard that always come to my mind when I say, design trumps willpower. It's one of my favorite terms that I share a lot about in my videos, as it's key to understanding why most people fail to implement new habits, and especially breaking old habits necessary for big personal growth in life. They're the words of the leading expert on habit formation, the founder and director of the Behavior Design Lab at Stanford University, Dr. B.J. Fogg. And in this video, we're going to run through the top reasons why design beats willpower every time for habit change, so you can level up your confidence on this journey of life. Welcome to Next Level Warrior. This is your self-development coach John here, and this channel is all about providing you with the knowledge and tools to help you build your warrior within to become your next level self. And one of the most powerful ways to build serious momentum on your personal development journey is through habit change. Whether it's unwinding the habits we've developed or implementing new ones that impact our happiness in life, it's something that can be extremely challenging for most of us and tends to get blamed on a lack of willpower. But what people don't realize is that relying on willpower for any habit shift is basically guaranteed to fail. To better explain this, I'm going to dive into what willpower is, how it works, and the top reasons why design always beats willpower to help you succeed with the most important habit changes you need to make in your life. Our willpower, or our level of self-control, is finite, meaning we only have a certain limit of it on a daily basis. It's something that gets depleted over a 24-hour cycle as we make decisions throughout the day. All types of decisions begin to use up our willpower tank, regardless if it's deciding on what you're going to eat today, what clothing to wear, etc. Hence why the automatic habits we develop, especially keystone habits that impact our personal growth the most, when they become automatic, they use next to zero willpower. James Clear, the famous author of Atomic Habits, who was also one of B.J. Fogg's students, talks about willpower in the sense of every decision being a rep in the gym. We can only go so far until we start to lose steam and need to recover. And if you try to push more reps through by attempting more decisions, the result is poor form and likely injury. Now with willpower, maybe it's not so dramatic, but it becomes harder to make more decisions and the quality of them goes down the drain. The point here is that willpower has a limit and it needs to be recharged. This is why it's the highest when we wake up in the morning, and why designing to remove the need for certain decisions can free up your willpower for more important things in your day.
But can we build more willpower over time?
I believe so, and there might be some research to support this, but it doesn't negate the fact that we have a limited amount of it. Even if I could personally make 10 more solid decisions in a day than I could a few years ago, it's still not something that I'll ever rely to support the habit changes I want to make in my life. That's like knowing that your house is built on a foundation ready to crumble every 24 hours if you exceed a certain amount of decisions in a day. Again, not so dramatic in real life, but if you get the point here, then let me know by hitting the like button. Anyway, now you know our willpower is finite, making it a terrible idea to rely on it for habit change. So the second reason design beats willpower is that creating a system to reduce the need for willpower frees up more room in your head to make better quality decisions. Essentially keeping your willpower tank fuller as a reserve for more important decisions that might come up in your day. And I just realized that I haven't given you any context on environment design to really make sense of this all. So let's go through it. So designing your environment is very specific to what you're trying to achieve, the habit you're trying to implement or change. But trust me here, it's not actually that complicated. It just needs a bit of thought one time to plan it out. You see, our human behavior, our habits, they tend to default to what's the most convenient. Wherever there's less friction or hassle is the direction that our choices are likely to flow towards. For example, let's say that you want to avoid checking your phone's notifications for the first hour of the day, just like I talked about in a recent video. But every morning when you shut off your alarm, there they are, easily accessible so you can't resist. The old habit wins. Environment design here can go in a couple different directions depending on how creative you want to be here. For myself, I set my phone on airplane mode the night before, and I leave it in the washroom so that I have to get up and out of bed to shut it off. This also helps me with not hitting the snooze button since it's not right next to my bed, and I've got to walk across the room to actually shut it off. In this example, I'm intentionally creating friction. I'm making the difficult behavior of my past self harder to do so that it's easier to do the habit I want to implement in my life. I'm creating a default pathway that actually works in my favor. This way I can get up earlier, not oversleep, I can keep my mind clear and stay unplugged from my phone that I know almost always results in ruined personal productivity for my day if I check it before I work on my most important goal for the day. Now, when it comes to the end of our day, this is where environment design will completely destroy willpower. Simply put, our decision-making tank will be running on empty. This is where we almost always move towards low-quality consumption patterns. Think about it for a moment. Take the time to connect the dots here in your own life. How much easier is it to put things off at the end of your day? How much easier is it to skip that workout, avoid that important phone call, make poor food choices, or stay up late when you're trying to get to bed earlier? Back when I was struggling to lose weight in my mid-20s, I would start each day off with eating super well and on point with my targets, then ruin the calorie deficit at the end of the day. Likewise, if I had a bad day, if I was stressed about work, not happy with my progress, guess what the path of least resistance was? My old habit of binge eating. Now, while I wasn't directly aware of environment design, I implemented it by getting rid of all the chips and easily accessible junk food in the house. I knew that my addiction to it, combined with needing to use willpower daily in order to keep myself from eating it, was going to keep that cycle going. And obviously I could still go out and buy it, but again, this was part of an intentional design, making it more difficult to do the thing I didn't want to do. Remember, willpower is limited at the end of our days. We can't rely on it, but design is powerful. Intelligent design holds its ground. And this leads me to the next big reason why design beats willpower. If for whatever reason the way that you set things up isn't as effective for you, if it stops working, then it's time to redesign. Again, it's not difficult, it just takes some thought. So if this happens to you, just ask yourself, how can I make this habit I want to implement easier to do? Or how can I make the habit that I want to remove more difficult to do? Actually, there was a client I was working with who was struggling to create an evening routine, one where he gave himself 30 minutes of zero screen time before bed. No smartphone, no television for the last 30 minutes of his day. Now, because he told me he tried a few things already, we went deeper. We started off with getting a cheap timer switch that would cut off the power bar connecting his TV service and internet modem. This was around 10:30 p.m. And this worked for a while, but eventually it wasn't enough friction, so we went to the next step and used an app that locked off his smartphone's data and his laptop's Wi-Fi at the exact time he set it to happen. So what does this tell us? Environment design is flexible if you need to switch it up. And the whole point here is that we can save our willpower for the important decisions we need to make daily, when we need to be our sharpest, when surprises come up demanding our decision-making abilities in life. You are designing parts of your life to work for you instead of against you. This inevitably results in your energy levels being higher. Your confidence and motivation go up because of these small intentional actions you take that help you succeed. The more this happens, the more your confidence grows, the more your belief grows, and you feel even more motivated to stack other habits in there, like putting together a morning routine to get you into a peak state every single day. This is one of the first things I go to work on with my coaching clients, helping them to design a morning routine to really level up their lives and confidence levels. Something I highly suggest you get started with. So make sure to check out this next video here, hit the like button if this helped you out, share it with someone you care about, and never stop growing, warriors. I'll see you guys in the next one.